Hello everyone, welcome to Didactics. I'm Eleuterio Caicedo, and in this occasion we're going to talk about didactics and learning styles. This is at Secar University and is a task presented to teacher Ruben Mario Muñoz Morales. Teaching has to be adapted for all students. That is the main goal of didactics, adapt teaching for all students. Didactics is how we approach the teaching and learning process. How we become content comprehensible for students. How we help students understand the content and incorporate that learning, incorporate that information. So teaching can be just in one method. And because every student learn in a different way. So didactics is about how we teach. And students are different. So to adapt this teaching for all students, we need to make better decisions. We need to plan better. There is no one fixed method for students to understand. As a teacher, you can pretend that all students are going to understand by explaining the content, by giving explanation. So if you know the content, if you know the topic, it is good. But to be a good teacher, you need to understand how you divide, organize, present that content in a way that students can understand it, that it is comprehensible for students, that they can incorporate it. So teaching has to be flexible, and it has to be flexible because every student could have a different learning style. Some students are visual. Some students learn by watching, by seeing, watching videos, watching charts, by PowerPoint presentations. Other students are auditory, so they learn by listening, they learn by talking. And some students learn by doing. They had to touch, they had to play, they had to do to be able to learn. So as every student is different in the way they learn, we as teachers has to be prepared to deliver that information in a way they comprehend and to help them understand and then incorporate that knowledge. So this is a classroom reality. Students are different. Not all students learn the same way. One method is not enough. And not just because not all students learn the same way, but also because it's going to be it's going to be boring. And you have to keep a student's attention. You have to call their attentions. You have to spark curiosity. So if you stood or if you keep on the same method at every class, the same way, it is not going to it is not going to help you obtain the goal you are searching. And as a teacher, you need students to learn, to comprehend, and to incorporate. So you need variety. And so there are multiple paths to learning. It's not just a one-way road. There are multiple paths for students, for you to help students learn, understand, comprehend. Uh, the same content must could be presented and must be presented in different ways. As I told you, some students are visual, some others are auditory, and some others are kinesthetic. So you have to use different methods, and didactics is this art, is the art of teaching, is the art of delivering that knowledge using different methods for the same content, um, being able to comprehend your auditory, your contents, the way students learn, the ability and capacity they have for you to help them understand and for you to open their mind and create that learning environment. So the teaching learning process will be enriched by didactics. So you have to teach the same topic but using different methods, and it leads to a better understanding. So if students don't understand, we change the method. We don't blame the students. And for that, we have to check learning while we teach. It's a way to to find out if students are comprehending that knowledge you are sharing with them. So you check learning to adjust teaching, to to use the path in which takes the knowledge to that students. Because let's say as a teacher you are going to a destiny with all students, but not with all students you go in the same directions. So you have to check if they are understanding, and you have to adjust the teaching, not forgetting not forgetting students, but being inclusive, being taking into account that you have you have to deliver to all of them the same topic, but that same topic has to be delivered in different paths, in different ways. And it means that you have to change the strategy. So you don't you can be attached, you can be stuck, you can be insistent in using the same strategy if the students doesn't if a student doesn't learn. Remember, if they don't understand, we change the method. We don't blame the student. So what is didactics important? It is important because didactic is flexible. So as I told you, you have to be flexible to to go all to attend or to be able to teach all the students. So it is flexible. You have to use, you have to be patient, you have to wait, you have to repeat, you have to search one, a second, a third, a fourth, wait for the students to understand. And it is also inclusive because some students have ability, but you need to teach them all. You can you can stay with the student with the ability. You have to be able to make that student who has the ability interested in the class, but you have to be able also to work with the student who is taking more time to understand the topic. So it has to be inclusive. And it also means for people who has different abilities or who has difficulties in movement, in speaking, who has disabilities, let's say, and it has to be effective. So you have to get them all. You have to help them all. That is the loving thing about teaching. So didactics help us reach all students without lowering quality. That is a conclusion. Didactics is how we teach to be able to reach all students without lowering the quality of the education. So didactics improves teaching. Didactics give us different alternatives to do our job, different approach, different approaches. Um, it help us help all learners, all students. And with didactics, you're going to get better learning results. So I invite you to teach with purpose, and I invite you to adapt your methods and think about your students. Remember, I'm Eleuterio Caicedo, and thank you to get until the end of this video. Bye.